Hello, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Angel, and I have another food video for you today. Um, I picked up some food from Souley Vegan. It's a vegan soul food place in Jack London Square in Oakland. And I'm going to uh, try to not edit this and just like post it as is because like I haven't posted in a long time and I don't know, I just want to get something out there. So I replated the food. I got their combo um, plate. I picked their cornbread, which I believe is gluten-free, their mac and cheese, barbecue tofu, and collard greens. It was a lot of food, um, so it was definitely worth the price. I noticed they have some new items on their menu. All this is like their staple stuff. Um, and I also have a mini cook. Let me open this real quick. Oof, I am hungry, thirsty, exhausted, all the things. It's just as good as I remember it. The restaurant has been around for a very long time. I honestly don't know how long, but I almost want to say like almost 10 years, but I could be wrong. Soul food is so good. I know that um, regular soul food usually has like um, real meat and cheese, but I like the vegan twist on it. I actually used to work at a soul food restaurant, Brown Sugar Kitchen. The food there was really, really good. Um, they didn't have many vegan options. Um, all they had was their collard greens and black-eyed peas, I believe. But their fried chicken and waffles were so good. I wasn't a server there, but I was their barista. I did it for about 8 months before I started working at a Japanese cafe in San Francisco. But, I mean, I'm not ready to go into like the details of my experience with working there because it wasn't the greatest, to be quite frank, but maybe I will later on. um, I have trouble talking about like bad experiences that I've had with work sometimes, and I don't know if I want to talk about that right now. But it wasn't the greatest. Like, long story short, I was experiencing like some sexual harassment from a married guy, and he was like one of the um, OG cooks, I think. I don't know. I just know that he's been working there for a long time, and he has like a stronger relationship with the chef. And he even told me to my face like, um, they need me here. Um, I've worked here a long time. Like, there's nothing you can do, basically. And but that shit happens everywhere. Like at most restaurants and some cafes and stuff. But let me not talk about that because I'm not eating their food right now. I'm just like thinking about them or thinking about the restaurant because I'm eating soul food right now. I didn't grow up eating soul food. Um, I didn't really start exploring different cuisines until I moved to the Bay Area. And one of the things I really like about the Bay Area is it's so diverse. And so you have a lot of food options. And little me, coming from a small town, um, Lemoore, California. Most people don't know where that's at. It's it's a small military town. Like, there's a Navy base there, and that's how I ended up in Lemoore. Um, my dad was a Marine, and all they have out there is fast food and like chain restaurants like Chili's and Applebee's. A lot of fast food. I think I said that. So, I was really like enamored when I came to the Bay Area, and you have all these different food options. Like, I kind of got sucked into it pretty quickly, and eating out is like was one of my favorite things, and I would do that pretty often. Actually, I can't do that as much anymore. But when I was in college, I would eat out like all the time. Just exploring food. It's so much fun. And it never really gets old either, because there's always well, there was always new places popping up and stuff like that. And me coming from like a small town, like I was just captivated. And I actually have a bachelor's degree in finance and economics, and started working in the restaurant industry because things didn't go well when I pursued my finance career. I took a lot of different routes that didn't lead to anything. Like, um, I'm kind of embarrassed to talk about it because I feel like such a failure. But I did reach like some pretty solid milestones that not a lot of people did. Like when I was interning for AXA, they endorsed me so that I can take the Series 7, and I passed it on the first try. And it was like, I was so happy that I passed the exam, because it's a very long test and it's pretty difficult, and most people don't pass it the first try. And I'll be honest, like, excuse me, studying for the exam felt like a full-time job in itself. I would spend 8 hours a day studying for the test, just for the exam, memorizing different terms and how stocks work and stuff like that. And now I feel like pursuing a Series 7 is kind of like pointless, like it's not even worth it, because most stock trading is done online. So I feel like being a stockbroker is a dead career. So if you are studying finance and you're trying to be a stockbroker, just be careful with it, because you will like spend a lot of money on it. I spent that test was so expensive. It was like $500 just to take the test. You know, if you fail, you're like out of $500. So it was like really important for me to like pass it. And once I passed the Series 7 and I was running out of money, I decided to apply at Edward Jones. Their interview process takes a very long time. It takes about a month, and I reached it until like the very end, like the very last thing I had to do. It was like a day in the life part of the interview, where I had to like take mock calls and things like that. And when I was reading like the interview material, I was under the impression that all I had to do was just do my best, and I will receive training for the logistics of everyday activities later on. And so when I didn't pass that very last step, I was devastated, and I kind of went into like a depression and didn't handle it very well. Um, I started working at a design company, Minted. Surprise! It's crazy. My life is so crazy, actually. Um, so I started working at Minted, doing graphic design work, um, modifying like holiday cards, um, wedding invitations, um, birth announcements, things like that. And that didn't. It wasn't a very high paying job, and it wasn't very stable either. Like, you go to an art school for graphic design and it can cost a lot of money, and then you go work at a tech company like Minted and they pay you, I think I was getting paid like $15 or $14 an hour, and it was part-time. Like, it wasn't, they had the capacity to hire their employees full-time, but what they did instead was outsource a good majority of the work. So we stayed part-time, but they outsourced that work, and that's actually pretty common in the tech industry. um, a lot of tech companies outsource like engineer work overseas just because the labor is a lot cheaper, and I feel like that's the reason why it's so difficult to why it's so difficult for college students who recently graduate to find work, because companies just don't want to pay American workers because we're so expensive. And I get that, like, like companies need to make money, but at one point are you um, actually like just exploiting workers or exploiting like skilled workers, Um, so I wasn't, because I like complained a lot about like where I was at, even though I should have been so grateful that I even had like an office job at a design company like Minted. Um, bottom, the reality was is like I couldn't, like, I wasn't making enough money and my hours weren't stable enough, and so I knew of a handful of people who worked in the restaurant industry, and and it seemed like their line of work was more stable and paid more than mine. So after that, I transitioned into um, the restaurant world, and it actually worked out for me, and I liked it a lot more than working at an office. But I don't know. And I've also been thinking a lot about what I'm gonna do with my online presence. Like, you know, I don't know if I want to be an influencer. I want to be more of a blogger. Nothing against influencers, because like I like I watch influencers like all the time on YouTube, and some of them are have like really cool personalities and they're very cute and la di di la di da, but I just don't think I fit that, and I don't think I don't know. I just I don't think it's for me. I'm gonna eat this cornbread. So Halloween is tomorrow. I filmed a bit beforehand. Didn't really touch it much as far as editing goes. So it's just kind of, I feel like it's dated footage at this point, but I still want to try to edit it and put it out there. And one thing I really appreciate about social media and content creation is it's flexible, you know? Like you can pretty much do whatever you want. Ooh, I'm getting full. Oh my god, that was good. This is what I have so far. I don't know if I should push through and just finish it or just like, yeah, I should. I don't know. I've also, and I'm still not drinking alcohol, which is crazy. It hasn't been easy, like at all. Well, it was easy at first. I was feeling good and everything, but now I'm just like, it's hard. But I'm determined to keep it going for as long as I can. Just to see. Just to see if I can do it. But it's making the, trying to be more sober is definitely taking a lot of energy out of me. Like I spend a lot of time in bed. I spend a lot of time like thinking about the past, which isn't good. Like I'm usually a forward thinking person, but when you have like PTSD, like you get triggered sometimes, and it's hard to not think about bad things when you are triggered. So I've been researching different types of therapy, revisiting anger management, getting in touch with God, spirituality. I was raised Roman Catholic. I do believe in a higher power, and I do believe in God and angels and spirits and stuff, but I'm not practicing. I'm not a practicing Roman Catholic anymore. I mean, a part of me kind of wants to, because it's something that I grew up with, and so it's something I'm familiar. And I used to pray the rosary like every single day, every day before school, because it was that rough. And it wasn't like my mom made me pray the rosary, like I chose to pray the rosary. I used to ask my mom if we can go to church. Just because it was like, it felt like an escape for me, and I really felt like God was talking to me. I mean, I still feel that now. Like when I'm laying in bed and going through it, I like talk to my higher power, the little voice inside my head, God, and I ask for advice, like, help heal me, what can I do, help me stop thinking about this, you know, things like that. And it's comforting. I think the cornbread is gluten free. Kind of tastes like it. Excuse me. Oh, I feel good. And wait, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, talking about God, laying in bed, talking to him, and how he makes me feel better. Yeah. Yeah, I really like talking about myself. um, so I don't think I would be a very good influencer. And I live in a very small space, so even if I were to like take um, being an influencer super seriously, like I can't keep buying like new stuff because I have nowhere to put it, you know. Um, I'm still going to talk about like beauty stuff here and there because I have a genuine interest in it and share like new items and things like that. But for the most part, I think I want to focus more on like sharing like my life experiences and things like that, and just be a real person. You know, sometimes like when I watch influencers, especially if there's like a new release out and everybody's getting the same thing, like as much as I enjoy the little personalities that I like to watch, it kind of gets repetitive after a while. You know, like how many videos about the same product can you watch before you kind of get bored with it? So I don't know. I kind of play it by ear, um, and I don't really. And also, just being an outsider looking into the whole drama space, the whole beauty community, it's just like too much drama that I'm not down with. Like I don't even deal with drama like that on my day to day. Like I can't handle that. I had a pretty dramatic like upbringing, and my 20s were very exciting. So I'm kind of at a place right now where I just want to chill. Um, you know, like I'm 34. I just want to chill. I want to take care of my body. I want to like that was my dehumidifier. I want to take care of my body. I want to take care of my mind because, you know, um, I and just like and also like explore my creativity more. Like do more paintings. Like when I was a kid, like I've always wanted to be a painter or artist, but um, I never took it seriously because I didn't. exactly have full support over it of it. Um, like, yeah, I'll get into that later, but I'm pretty much done eating. This is what I got so far. I ate it all. Except for the cornbread. Um, I'll probably nibble on it here and there after this. But, yeah, so that's about it. Thanks for watching me talk about myself. um, I'm an Aries sun, so you know how we are. we like we like to talk about ourselves sometimes. Um, but yeah, I hope you like things like that, like things like this. I am really enjoying. I really enjoy sharing like the different foods that Oakland has to offer because I feel like you don't like the public doesn't really hear about it often, not unless you like live in the area. But there's so much good food out here, and with everything happening in the pandemic, it's really sad to see some spaces closed down, and I have to start thinking about what I'm going to do in the long term. Um, as far as everything else goes, like I'm good. I'm good right now. Like I'm not struggling hella hard. Um, I tested negative for COVID. I'm still listening to um, scientists and politicians so that I won't um, get COVID and so that I can help open the economy faster. And to be quite honest, like people not wearing masks and calling this thing a hoax is like a part of me kind of feels bad for those people because I think they're in denial of what's happening, and I kind of get that. Like in the very very beginning, I was in denial too in a way, and I didn't want to wear a mask at first. Like I thought they were stupid, and then after a while, you know, I after all the protests or after the scientists have done their research, I realized that it is important and it's not as stupid as I originally thought it was. And you know, um, I feel like the sooner everybody's on the same page, the sooner we can have this under control. But it's just been very disheartening to see the divide happening and all the social unrest and things like that. But anyways, I'm gonna take off. I'm already at 33 minutes, so I hope you have a good one. Thanks for watching my video, and I'll post something soon. It might be a little outdated, but who cares? Bye.